Live from the campus of Penn State University, this is PSN News. It's Monday, March 2nd. We have all you need to know about the pending acquisition of the State College Regional Airport, as well as more on a lawsuit facing Mount Nittany Health.
We also have the latest information on the Iran conflict, along with sports, entertainment, weather, and an interview. Stay tuned. Thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Jennae Overton.
And I'm Anneke Wagner. On Thursday, the Penn State Board of Trustees unanimously approved terms of a proposed transaction that would transfer the operating assets of the State College Regional Airport to the Centre County Airport Authority. The CCAA is currently the owner and operator of the State College Regional Terminal. The proposed sale is still subject to approval by the CCAA board and regulatory approval by the Federal Aviation Authority, a process that could last several months.
A State College woman has filed a lawsuit against Mount Nittany Health for the death of her 24-year-old son. Misty Dixon alleges Mount Nittany Health did not give her son, Caleb Barth, the proper care and follow-up needed for his condition. Barth, a 2019 State College High graduate, was discharged from Mount Nittany on February 24, 2025, and passed away just 5 days later. Dixon is suing for 13 counts of negligence and wrongful death. StateCollege.com reached out to Mount Nittany for a statement, but they would not comment on the lawsuit.
Center Helps, a State College nonprofit organization, is joining an international movement to raise awareness surrounding the homeless population in State College. Center Helps Director Denise McCann says there is an unhoused community in State College that tends to live in cars or shelters. To raise awareness and funds to help the community, the Center Helps is joining the international movement Coldest Night of the Year. The 2 or 5K walk is designed to raise funds to help the homeless, hurt, or hungry in the community. Their goal is to raise $20,000.
Chase Bank will be opening a new branch in Centre County, part of the company's goal to expand to 100 branches in the region. The bank's leadership noted that the expansion is part of a new initiative to increase accessibility in the greater Pennsylvania area. The initiative will also play a role in increasing in-person banking services, something that customers have been asking for. Chase Bank Regional Director Jason Patton says that the new branch is here to support students and community members as they begin their financial, personal, and academic journeys. Penn State students are turning ideas into inventions. Reporter Jocelyn Bilker is live in the studio with an inside look at a unique class project. Jocelyn?
Thanks, Jennae. With spring quickly approaching, it's almost time to break out the yard games. But some Penn students aren't just playing them, they're building the next big thing. Last week, I had the chance to go inside the Engineering Design and Innovation building to speak with students in Engineering 307, a tech entrepreneurship course. Let's take a look.
With spring quickly approaching, it's almost time to break out the yard games. I had the opportunity to go into the Engineering Design and Innovation building to speak with several students in Engineering 307, a course that focuses on tech entrepreneurship. The challenge? Students have to take ordinary tailgate games and put a creative and innovative twist on them. Let's go put on some safety glasses and go see what they're creating.
Inside the Learning Factory, it's less about lectures and more about launching. Students in Engineering 307 are building original tailgate games as part of a tech entrepreneurship challenge. The goal, create something innovative enough to compete in the tailgating industry estimated to be worth $10 billion for football alone. But this is not just about fun. Each team has a strict $50 budget, access to shop materials, and one non-negotiable rule. Their game must be completely original. No copying, no slight twists on existing games.
Julian Grives, a junior majoring in computer science, said his team wanted to put a unique twist on the game cornhole.
So we came up with grid toss, where similar to tic-tac-toe, you had to toss a couple bean bags into a given set of squares. you get a point. I think it's going very well, but as the project says, it's looking for more creativity. So we definitely have a lot more work to do to make it more creative and innovative.
I spoke with Sage Sonnet, a junior majoring in mechanical engineering, who said her team ran into some problems with their design.
So we came up with Screwed, that's the name. And the point is you have a red team and a blue team, and you will stand like on either side of the table, and you will have 2 bean bags each. And it's kind of a free-for-all. But so say your team blue, you want to hit the blue and then spin it all the way up the screw. But if your team red, you want to hit it this side and spin it all the way down the screw.
However, that didn't stop her and her team from making her project work.
The 3D print is really nice because it's cost effective too, but we also learned it has some like structural instability. So it kind of broke, but we're just coming up with new ideas to make it better.
Students say the hardest part is balancing creativity with simplicity, because if the rules are too complicated, no one will want to play.
After months of designing, testing, and building inside the Learning Factory, teams will compete with their final prototype in the Game Day Ventures competition. They'll be judged on originality, playability, and professionalism, all while competing for a People's Choice Award. Reporting for Penn State Network News, I'm Jocelyn Bilker.
The games will be presented at the Game Day Ventures competition later this semester. Winners will be selected by both a panel of judges and a People's Choice vote. Back to you, Jennae.
Thanks, Jocelyn. What kind of weather are students expecting as they get ready to leave State College for spring break? Student meteorologist Jonathan Domo is live in the studio with his week's forecast. Jonathan?
Thanks, Jennae. And we just got word right here in the studio that all classes at Penn State tomorrow, Thursday, all classes from 5 a.m. to 10 a.m. are canceled. So if you have an 8 a.m. or a 9 a.m., you do not have to go to those. I'll get into why in just a moment. But first, here's a look at the Penn State Arboretum. You can see the sun has already set. There are some clouds in the sky, and we're working with the current temperature of 28 degrees. But due to that wind coming out of the south at 8 miles per hour, it feels more like 20 degrees. So make sure you have the jacket if you're out there. Now, zooming out to the rest of the Northeast here, it's not much higher elsewhere you go. 29 degrees in Scranton right now. 34 degrees in Pittsburgh appears to be our high spot. Along the coast here, 33 degrees in Philadelphia, 21 in New Haven, and then up in Boston, it is just 23 degrees. So we're working with mostly mid to high 20s and some spots of teens in upper New England. Now, let's take a look at how those temperatures are going to trend throughout the week. We will hit 36 degrees on Tuesday before we take a shot at 50 again on Wednesday. We'll take a small dip back down for Thursday, 48 degrees, but we'll shoot back up to the mid 50s on Friday. And Saturday we'll hit 67 degrees. That will be again another shot at 60 degrees, which we saw last Saturday, February 28th, which was the first time State College hit above 60 degrees since November 15th of 2025. So hopefully we'll get a second Saturday in a row hitting 60 degrees. Now, here is the radar and satellite from the past couple of hours. You can see that a system of precipitation was working its way through out from the west. It brought mostly snow to these parts of Indiana and Ohio, and it was staying mostly rain to the south. You can see that rain-snow line around West Virginia, the Virginia line. This is not going to be impactful here at Penn State, and it'll make its way off the coast at the end of tonight. Now, let's take a look at the drought monitor. We do have some rain on the way, and we do have some precipitation here, and it's greatly needed here. We're at a 2 out of 5 on the drought monitor scale. Not as bad as places like Southern Texas, especially down here in Houston, which Southern Texas actually hit over 100 degrees for the first time in 2026. Again, that is the first instance of over 100 degrees in 2026 was hit down south of Houston, but they're in a 4 out of 5, even a 5 out of 5 risk for a drought. It's not as dire up here, but we do have some much needed precipitation on the way. Now, let's time this precipitation out. The reason why classes are going to get canceled is because of all of this pink precipitation. That is going to be a wintry mix, and it's going to put a lot of ice on the ground, and that is going to be treacherous for anybody trying to travel by car and even by foot onto campus. So it was a good call by Penn State, if you ask me, to cancel classes from 5 to 10. Now, as the day progresses, the showers get a little bit more spotty. And by the end of Tuesday into Wednesday, you can see we're going to have a little bit of a respite, especially around 10 a.m. on Wednesday. There'll still be some clouds in the sky. However, Wednesday into Thursday brings another round of rain. This time, it's going to be mostly, if not all, rain here for parts of Pennsylvania. So no classes will be canceled, unfortunately. And this rain will be blanketing across from New Jersey all the way out to portions of the Midwest. And it will be It'll be widespread throughout Thursday and into Friday, where it becomes a little bit more spotty here in Pennsylvania. You'll want to take notice here of parts of New England, where it'll be falling as mostly snow here in parts of New Hampshire and Maine, but it'll be mostly a wintry precipitation and potentially just as icy here in parts of northern Massachusetts. And then as we say goodbye to Friday and hello to Saturday, that is when yet another round of rain moves in. This is around the time when a lot of people are going to be heading back home for spring break. If you call Western or Central New York home, I have some bad news. If you are planning to arrive at the end of Saturday, it's going to be a rainy one. So make sure you're taking proper precautions when you're out there on the roads. Make sure you're going the speed limit. You don't want to hydroplane. That would not be good before spring break. And then as Sunday moves through, we begin to see some weather conditions begin to clear out. Now, let's take a look at the forecast for tonight. 27 degrees with a mixing event late, 7 miles per hour out of the south for our wind speeds. And that mixing event will turn into, as we head into tomorrow, into that icy threat that just canceled classes. 36 degrees. It'll feel a little bit chillier, especially in the morning when that ice is beginning to form. But as it switches back over to rain, the temperature will jump up to 36 degrees for the high temperature tomorrow. Now, here's a look at the 7-day forecast. You can see we rebound up to 50 degrees for Wednesday. It'll be cloudy for the most part of that day. Now, showers will return on Thursday. 56 degrees on Friday with morning showers on Friday for most people's commute home if you're leaving a day early. Now, on Saturday, this is when we're going to see those impactful evening showers, but we'll take another shot, even at potentially 70 degrees, depending on how a few things pan out. Sunday might be mostly cloudy, might be partly cloudy, but hopefully it will be precipitation free. And then by Monday of next week, we'll be back up shooting towards 70 degrees. 69 is your temperature, partly cloudy. Jennae, back to you.
Thanks, Jonathan. Now over to Cassie with the latest in sports.
Thanks, Jennae. I'm Cassie Vaselis with your sports update. Penn State women's hockey hosted Syracuse this past weekend for the AHA tournament semifinals. The Nittany Lions earned a 7-0 shutout in the first game, where captain and Olympic gold medalist Tessa Anneke scored a hat trick. The blue and white earned the sweep with a 2-1 victory in the second game. The top seed Nittany Lions advanced to their fourth consecutive AHA tournament championship, where they will face the 2 seed Mercyhurst at Pagula Ice Arena on March 7th. This past weekend, Penn State track and field competed in the Big Ten Indoor Championships. Many program records were broken, and there were plenty of medalists. Some of the results include the men's track and field team posting a second-place team finish with the most points in program history. Haley Kitchen and Handel Roban became Big Ten 800-meter champions, and Ryan Henry won the gold medal in shot put. The NCAA Indoor Championships are next up for the Nittany Lions on March 13th and 14th. The 2026 She Believes Cup began yesterday. Canada took on Colombia, where Canada took a 4-1 win. The United States faced Argentina, where the red, white, and blue won 2-0. Lindsay Heaps and Jaden Shaw were the goal scorers. On March 4th, Canada and the United States will face off, while Argentina will take on Colombia. Match day 3 will be on March 7th, where Canada will play Argentina and the USA will face Colombia. The winner of the cup will be the team with the most points after the third match day. Time is running out for the WNBA and the Women's National Basketball Players Association. The league told the players that a new collective bargaining agreement must be in place by March 10th to avoid disrupting the 2026 season. The rapid deadline has caused a stir as many agents sent a letter to the union requesting more transparency about negotiations. The players are reportedly no longer aligned on whether or not to call a strike. The situation could also affect the new expansion teams, Portland Fire and Toronto Temple, as their draft has not taken place yet and they start playing this upcoming season. That's all for your sports update. After the break, Sydney Cox has the latest in the world of entertainment. Stay tuned.
Live from the campus of Penn State University, this is PSN News.
Penn State Network News is a student-produced, bi-weekly live news show featuring all student talent.
From local and national news to sports, entertainment, weather, and live interviews, we have it all.
We also feature student-made packages from across campus.
Airing every Monday and Wednesday at 7 p.m.
We are PSN News.
Be sure to check us out on Twitter and Facebook at PSN News, on Instagram at Penn State Network News, and to subscribe to our YouTube channel at youtube.com/PSN News.
Have a good night and stay safe, Penn State. Welcome back to PSN News. I'm Sydney Cox with your entertainment update. Peppa Pig and her family are on her way to Penn State for My First Concert. The event is meant to be live music for young audiences, featuring fun and interactive acts. With music and characters from the beloved show, fans and families can plan to see the performance on Thursday, March 26 at p.m. in Eisenhower Auditorium. There is also a pre-show event set to start at 4 p.m. in the Eisenhower Conference Room. Tickets can be purchased online and accessibility options are available. The Penn State Student Programming Association announced they'll be hosting Malcolm Todd this spring. The singer-songwriter is known for his indie pop and R&B music with hits like Chest Pain and Roommates. Todd is set to perform at the Bryce Jordan Center on March 24th at 8 p.m. Tickets are available on Ticketmaster, with University Park students able to use their PSU and user ID number to access $20 floor tickets with $45 lower bowl tickets available to the public. Floor tickets will go on sale to the public starting March 10th. Are you looking to get more involved at the arts in Penn State? Reporter Gracie Polovich is live in the studio now with an exclusive look at an event hosted by the Palmer. Gracie?
Thanks, Sydney. Last week, the Palmer Art Museum hosted an after-hours night celebrating African artwork and culture. Here's a look into the event. On Thursday night, the Palmer Museum hosted its first after-hours of the semester. Spectators are beginning to arrive to Palmer Art Museum's Art After Hours We Are Here event. This event is a celebration of African culture and activism through both visual and performing arts. Let's go take a look. The night began with poetry readings from award-winning poets Jolynn Phillips and Habiba Badaroun. As a Penn State professor and co-director of the Penn State African Feminist Initiative, Badaroun shared her excitement to present her work to the community.
And artists always break the stereotype. They always expand our idea of the world and give a depth to it and an intricacy to it. And I think I can do that as a professor in a lecture, but I think an artwork will do that inside your own head, inside your own emotions and your own heart.
Festivities continued with an artist talk by Malik Welly and a performance by the Penn State Afrik Fusion Dance Team. Penn State student Anneke Van Dam especially appreciated the performance.
I really enjoyed the dancing that we just have. I've done theater my whole life, so I love the performing arts.
The Palmer Museum hosts events such as these multiple times a month, and you can check for what's coming next at palmermuseum.edu/programs. I'm Gracie Polovich reporting with PSN News. The Palmer Museum brings the community together in so many ways, and it's truly amazing to see so many people engaging with art and celebrating culture. Back to you, Sydney.
Thanks, Gracie. In national news, Connor Story made his SNL debut this weekend and brought out a handful of guest stars. Joined by multiple gold medalists of both the women's and men's U.S. Olympic hockey teams, Story's monologue opened with a cheer. He then proceeded to include previous heated rivalry co-star Hudson Williams as they skated at Rockefeller Rink. Wrapping up with some memorable accents, impressions, and original characters, Story was able to craft a very memorable first appearance on the late-night comedy show. Last night, the 32nd Actor Awards presented by SAG-AFTRA were presented in LA's Shrine Auditorium. Hosted by Kristen Bell, this was the first year the event took on the name change from the previously called SAG Awards. It was an emotional night, as Harrison Ford was honored with the Lifetime Achievement Award, while Catherine O'Hara won Outstanding Performance for a Female Actor in a Comedy, just weeks after her passing. With others like Michael B. Jordan finally getting their flowers, the awards race seems to be setting up the Oscars in just 2 weeks. That's all for your entertainment update. Coming up next, interview anchor Quinn O'Leary will be speaking with Bailey Toporser, a PGM major here at Penn State. Stay tuned.
Hey everybody, thank you for tuning into this edition of Penn State Sports Night.
all of us here at the Belisari Media Center, we are
Penn State Sports Night.
Ready, mics? 3, 2, fade in on 2, mic and cue.
This is Nittany Talk.
I would say spring.
Slow down.
And he knew that. How do you think? I know. She continues to hold her values and everything though. And I think that that's really important. So yeah, and self-care Saturday.
And you lose a lot of sleep.
Yes, agreed. Yeah.
Live from the campus of Penn State University, this is PSN News.
Penn State Network News is a student-produced, bi-weekly live news show featuring all student talent.
From local and national news to sports, entertainment, weather, and live interviews, we have it all.
We also feature student-made packages from across campus.
Airing every Monday and Wednesday at 7 p.m.
We are PSN News.
Be sure to check us out on Twitter and Facebook at PSN News, on Instagram at Penn State Network News, and to subscribe to our YouTube channel at youtube.com/PSN News.
Have a good night and stay safe, Penn State.
Hey everyone, welcome to Culture Central. My name is Jaden Stewart,
What's good, everybody? My name is Eric Pichardo, and we are your hosts
creators
and executive producers of Culture Central. Is this Whitney Houston?
We're doing things that have never been done before. So welcome to the family.
Hey everyone, we are Red Carpet News, your main source of entertainment news at Penn State University.
Man, this festival is going to be popping.
I'm Alex Porzillo, you're here with Aiden Harold.
He's going to 23rd with Daddy Elon Warbucks to actual space away from Kim.
So insane, especially during Kendrick's part when they came out.
Reporting on anything from music, movies, TV shows, fashion, to celebrity gossip. You don't want to miss out on any of the hot topics we discuss.
Find our segments on YouTube under the name Red Carpet News for your daily dose of entertainment.
We are Red Carpet News.
If you don't include human beings, you cannot accurately model the way the climate has changed over the last 50 years.
And I don't know that we're ever going to be free of some sort of bug.
That the natural state of motion for something to be in is to remain in its current state of motion.
Been lucky enough to discover various things out there. Pulsars, exoplanets, and some other phenomena that ended up being interesting.
Hi, I'm Johnson Gary with Asking Penn State.
With Asking Penn State,
Asking Penn State.
Asking Penn State.
Asking Penn State.
Welcome back to Asking Penn State.
Golf is a game of inches, but for sophomore Bailey Toporser, it's taking her miles to become the player she is today. From shooting a 120 in her very first round of 18 holes to averaging in the 70s as a collegiate athlete, you could say Bailey knows a little something about grit. What makes her story even more compelling is she has earned her place in a sport dominated by men. Being underestimated may be par for the course, but Bailey is proof that there is space on the green for anyone daring enough to claim it. So without further ado, Bailey, thank you for joining me today.
Thank you so much for having me on. I'm so excited.
Of course. So most collegiate athletes picked up their respective sports quite literally at the age of 3. I feel like that's the usual story. However, you did not grow up with golf. So can you describe when you picked up a club for the first time and why?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I had nothing to do during COVID-19.
None of us did.
None of us did. We were all stuck inside of our houses. I had nothing to do. So my dad went down to the basement, got out the old set of women's golf clubs down there and took me out to the range. And we were all shocked, to say, the fact that I wasn't horrible at it.
Okay.
And so that's kind of how I got into it, at least. And then, yeah, ever since then, I just have never put it down.
That's awesome. Now, I know you were pretty incredible from the start, but still, you shot a 120 in your first round of golf. For those who maybe don't know what golf is that good or bad?
Let's just say the 120 is definitely not good. And I will say that definitely had its liberties. I definitely didn't take all my penalties. Probably shot closer to 130 that day. But yeah, it's definitely not good to start.
So how did you go from struggling to excelling?
Yeah, great question. I mean, a lot of work. I mean, I like to say that I was there before everybody else and left after everybody else. The only thing that would really take me off the driving range in the evening was the sun. The sun was my only boss in that moment. I've probably hit hundreds of thousands of golf balls in the last few years. So just constantly putting myself in the situation to learn, constantly practicing, constantly hearing from other people and different perspectives has kind of set me up to be able to grow in a good way.
I see. So you started in COVID. Then did you join the girls' golf team in high school, or was there even a girls' golf team?
I mean, I don't believe that there was a girls' team whenever I started, but I'm so sorry to my high school coach, Ernie, who had to deal with me as a freshman. I mean, I was so bad that they made us play from the 150-yard marker. I was not allowed to tee off from the tee box, so I was definitely not a good golfer. But for some reason he saw something in me and he let me stay around, and we ended up creating the women's golf team there, and we ended up by my senior year winning the Mid-Penn Conference Championship. So it was definitely a big jump. We were kind of the underdogs going into it, but it was so awesome. We worked really hard, and I'm so happy to at least think I maybe had a small portion in helping to grow women's golf at Mechanicsburg.
I'd say a big portion. And so I'm sure at some point you hit your stride. Okay, newspapers are probably talking to you locally. Where are you going to play golf in college? Did you know that was something you could ever even do?
No, not at all. I mean, at that point, I was probably about a sophomore and a half, I'd say. And I was playing rounds and I was getting stopped after my rounds. And I was being asked about like, hey, what are you going to do for college? Are you starting your recruiting? And I'm like, see, I didn't think that was a possibility. I didn't think that that was something I was good enough only 2.5 years into the sport to play collegiate golf. But I kind of started looking into it and kind of hit the ground running, recruiting pretty much only in Pennsylvania. I kind of knew I wanted to stay in Pennsylvania. But yeah, I started recruiting extremely hard and ended up kind of choosing my collegiate path from there.
So you committed to Millersville, and obviously you're here at Penn State now. I know your experience at Millersville maybe wasn't the best environment for you. What was that like for your confidence?
Yeah, so I mean, I loved what Millersville was able to give me in the way of collegiate competitive experience. I mean, there is nobody who ever plays collegiate competitive golf who would say it's not a completely different ball game, and it really is. You're playing against a lot better people at a lot harder courses, and I mean, that is hard whenever you go from being kind of one of the top people in your area to all of a sudden you're fighting to shoot in the 70s because these courses are so much harder and they're so much longer. And so it definitely can hurt your confidence, but at the same time, it teaches you how to kind of rely on yourself and your self-confidence while still being able to lean on the people who you need to in order to kind of support you. And you don't have to fight that battle alone.
Absolutely. So you ultimately made the decision to transfer to Penn State from Millersville and transfer into the PGM program here. So you got your decision New Year's Day 2025. What did that acceptance kind of symbolize to you, maybe beyond golf?
Yeah, I mean, whenever I had applied to Millersville, I was an elementary education major.
Really?
Yeah, I was not going to work in the golf industry, but I ended up falling in love with it and realizing I could not picture a day of my life that did not involve golf. So I knew I wanted to teach and I wanted to spread my love for the sport with other people. And I knew that that was going to be the right route for me. So from there, I knew that the PGM program at Penn State is very highly ranked. I mean, we're a prestigious golf program at that point. And so I had applied kind of on a whim, didn't tell a lot of people, and then found out on New Year's Day. And I mean, it was just a realization that that dream that I had could actually become a reality, and that wasn't some fever dream that I was having in the shower, and that it was truly like something that I was going to be able to do with my life, and I was going to be able to make a change.
Wow. And today you're fitting clubs, you're teaching, you run social media for the Penn State golf course. That is awesome. but I'm thinking of the girl who shot the 120 years ago. If you were to sit down with that girl right now, what would you tell her?
Oh gosh, I would tell her to take in every single moment, and that girl who shot 120 has no clue what this sport is going to do for her, and also what that sport is going to allow her to do for other people. And to kind of take that in, listen to everybody, keep an open mind. You don't know everything, even though she thought she did. And to just continue learning. And I mean, I'm learning every single day, and I am always willing to hear what other people have to say, and to kind of remind myself of that, and to kind of say that you are constantly going to learn, and you don't know what this game is going to do for you.
Such an incredible message, Bailey. Thank you so much for sharing with me today.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me.
Now, stick around, because coming up next, Anneke and Jennae will have the latest news from across the nation.
Ready, Mike? 3, 2, fade in on 2, Mike and Q.
This is Nittany Talk.
I would say spring.
Slow down.
When he knew that, how do you think? I know. She continues to hold her values and everything though, and I think that that's really important. So yeah, I'm self-care Saturday.
And you lose a lot of sleep.
Yes, agreed. Yeah.
Bye.
Hey everyone, welcome to Culture Central. My name is Jaden Stewart.
What's good, everybody? My name is Eric Pichardo, and we are your hosts,
creators,
and executive producers of Culture Central. Is this Whitney Houston?
We're doing things that have never been done before, so welcome to the family.
If you don't include human beings, you cannot accurately model the way the climate has changed over the last 50 years.
And I don't know that we're ever going to be free of some sort of bug.
That the natural state of motion for something to be in is to remain in its current state of motion.
I've been lucky enough to discover various things out there. Pulsars, exoplanets, and some other phenomena that ended up being interesting.
Hi, I'm Johnson Gary with Asking Penn State.
With Asking Penn State.
Asking Penn State.
Asking Penn State.
Asking Penn State.
Welcome back to Asking Penn State.
Former President Bill Clinton testified Friday before Congress for their investigation of convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein. The closed-door deposition, where Clinton was questioned by lawmakers about his connections to Epstein, lasted over 6 hours. The former president says he saw nothing and he did nothing wrong, he said in an opening statement he shared on social media. The deposition marks the first time in history a former president has been required to testify to Congress.
In North Dakota, a judge has ordered that environmental group Greenpeace pay $345 million to the pipeline company Energy Transfer. The lawsuit comes from protests that occurred in 2016 and 2017 in connection with the Standing Rock Sioux tribe. The tribe opposed the implementation of a pipeline in the area due to it being a threat to their water supply. Damages from the protests totaled close to $666 million. A spokesperson from Greenpeace USA says the group does not have the funds to pay the suit and that the lawsuit is being used to silence activists.
Netflix declined to raise its offer of Warner Bros. Discovery's studio and streaming business on Thursday. The move ultimately places Paramount in the position to acquire its Hollywood rival. Warner's board announced on Thursday that Skydance owned Paramount's latest offer of $31 per share was favorable to Netflix's previous offer. After being given up to 4 business days to counter Paramount's offer, Netflix, just 2 hours later, decided to walk away from the deal altogether.
OpenAI CEO Sam Altman announced that the company has received $110 billion in funding from Amazon, SoftBank, and NVIDIA. Of the trio, Amazon will be investing the most money, putting $50 billion towards the partnership, followed by $30 billion from both NVIDIA and SoftBank. The investments are said to bring forward more advanced AI capabilities. ChatGPT, OpenAI's most popular product, has over 900 million weekly active users, a number that looks to grow with the new investments. Now, over to Lily with the latest in international news.
Thanks, Jennae. I'm Lily McAfee with your international news update. Over the weekend, the United States and Israel launched a military strike against Iran, escalating tensions across the Middle East. The strike killed the supreme leader, Ayatollah Ali Khamenei, which sent shockwaves across the globe and has sent the country into a major leadership struggle. In retaliation, Iran launched missiles and drone attacks against the U.S. and Israeli troops and allied countries in the region. CNN says the death toll from the attack on the U.S. troops in Kuwait is currently 6. Israeli forces are also responding to the attacks from Hezbollah, an Iranian-backed militant group out of Lebanon. The group launched several rockets and drones towards Israel, and in response, Israel struck dozens of targets in Beirut and southern Lebanon. President Donald Trump announced that the campaign would likely take 4 to 5 weeks to conclude. CNN is also reporting that the U.S. Embassy was just hit in Saudi Arabia. The U.S. State Department is urging citizens to leave the countries in the Middle East. In other international news, gas prices are on the rise as crude oil prices jumped 10% due to the conflict in Iran. Retail and gas prices are expected to have nearly 10 cent per gallon increases as disruptions to shipping continue. 6 of the leading cargo shipping companies have halted or diverted ships from the Strait of Hormuz, a key shipping route where nearly 20% of the global oil passes through. The disruption will have a worldwide impact on prices and the global economy. That's all for your international news update. Back to you guys.
Thanks, Lily. That concludes our show tonight at PSN News.
Be sure to check us out on Twitter and Facebook at PSN News, on Instagram at Penn State Networks News, and to subscribe to our YouTube channel at youtube.com/PSN News.
Have a good night and stay safe, Penn State.